XFM News on point.
News on XFM. I'm Chris Tim. President Yoweri Museveni has rebuked the youth against their continued agitation of a youthful contestant instead of a person with good ideas. Museveni, who was conversing for votes in Arua, asked the public that while selecting a leader, they must focus on the brilliant and developmental ideas of an individual as opposed to the age, since some aspirants are just making empty promises.
Now, when you hear some confusion, people don't know what they are talking about. When I look at the youth, the old, the what, this is not biology. We're not talking about biology. When you talk young, old, what, then you are talking biology. But when you are talking about ideas, ideas are either correct or wrong. For instance, I am a Christian. How old is the Christian idea? Are we going to abandon the Christian idea because it is now 2,000 years old? Are we going to abandon the law of Moses, which is 4,000 years old? So please, stop talking nonsense if you want to solve your problems. I was in my 20s. Mwalimu Nyerere was almost in his 50s. But I was a follower of Mwalimu Nyerere because I was following his idea, the idea of the East African Federation, the idea of liberating Southern Africa. So ideas are ideas, whether they are supported by the young or the old. So the issue is this a correct idea or a wrong one?
The Member of Parliament for Nakawa Division, Michael Kabaziguruka, has promised to ensure effective service once elected as a Member of Parliament in Nakawa East constituency. Kabaziguruka passed on the message to the electorate during the launch of his door-to-door campaign in Safina Zone in Luzira yesterday. He said that he will try as much as possible to at least lobby for one government-aided school for the people of Nakawa East, saying they still have a very big challenge.
We did present a petition to the Minister of Education to build another government-aided school because Nakawa, as it is, had only one government-aided school, which is Luzira Secondary. And quite obviously, the numbers are very, very big. It is overcrowded, so we call upon government to fulfill the pledge they made to the people of Nakawa.
Members of Parliament on the Budget Committee have questioned the capacity of the local company identified to manufacture 5 million radios locally, saying it has no capacity. Government wants Parliament to approve over 330 billion shillings to enable them procure 9 million radios for learners, for which 5 million will be produced locally. The MPs on a fact-finding visit to Orion Electronics Limited in Namamve Industrial Park to ascertain the technical capacity of the company to produce the 5 million radio sets were left unconvinced by that company and that they can assemble such a number of radios within the stipulated time period, which they say is not possible.
The situation is just appalling. We can't say there is any reason to think that such a place can in any case manufacture, even assemble. You look at, there is only one plant there, which was assembling what? Speakers.
No, the center, I think it's 3 or 2. A few radios, 3, but by DHL, they can be applicable. But the point is, these radios are not being manufactured here.
And they are telling us that they will only be able to assemble radios when they are paid and they make an assembly within 3 months. No, in the spirited time, we believe they cannot be able to supply the radios.
The Minister of Health has okayed the community to bury their own dead bodies after the patients succumbed to COVID-19. The Minister of General Duties in the Ministry of Health, Robin Nabanja, says that the bodies will be wrapped in bags and handed over to their families for burial, but they will not allow the relatives to open the bags to perform certain traditional rituals.
We are now having another strategy, the community response, the community strategy, where we want the communities to bury their dead. The only responsibility the minister has remained with is to wrap very well the bodies in body bags and then hand over the bodies to the community for burial. Because the phase under which we are, we expect more people to die. And once those people die, the ministry has no capacity to bury everywhere. So we want the communities to take charge of this responsibility. However, don't open the body because you never know. It continues to be infectious until after some time.
In Africa news, scores and probably hundreds of civilians have been massacred in the growing conflict in the Tigray in the northern Ethiopia, Amnesty International says. Witnesses blamed forces loyal to the Tigray People's Liberation Front for Monday's killings, but Tigrayan officials have denied that pro-TPLF troops were involved. Fighting between government forces and the TPLF broke out last week. Getting information is hard with the phone lines and the internet down. This would be the first large-scale killing of civilians in the conflict. There has been long-standing tension between Ethiopia's government and the TPLF, which controls Tigray, the country's northernmost states, and it has boiled over into military clashes, including airstrikes by federal forces. As a result, thousands of civilians have crossed the border into the Sudan, which says it will shelter them in a refugee camp. In sports news, the Uganda Cranes yesterday did beat South Sudan by 1-0 to go on 7 points. That's in their qualification group for the AFCON 2021 tournament. Now, Uganda Cranes' Nations Cup fixture against South Sudan yesterday should have been easy and obvious. But, of course, they did need a goal by Khalid Lualida, who is a product of St. Mary's Chitende. And it would be the Vipers' captain to lead this disjointed Cranes outfit out of jail. That goal was scored with 5 minutes left to play. And that's the latest XFM News.
XFM News on point.